I became a world-famous musician after my family said I had no talent. Now my cousin, ex-fiancé, and Stepfamily are furious I dedicated my Grammy-winning album to everyone who believed I'd fail. Hi everyone. Before we go on, show your love by subscribing and saying hi in the comments. Share your location too. We love hearing from you. Let's get back to the story. I was 23 when my stepmother Maya shattered the last guitar my biological mother ever gave me. The sound of splintering would still echoes in my nightmares. That sickening crack that ended more than just an instrument's life. It ended something inside me too. Jane, you need to accept reality, Maya said, dropping the broken pieces at my feet. Her diamond-studded fingers caught the afternoon light streaming through our living room window. You're not talented. You never were. Your mother filled your head with these ridiculous dreams and look where it got her. My chest tightened. Mama died when I was 16, her last words urging me to never stop singing. That guitar had been my connection to her, the only thing I had left that still smelled faintly of her perfume, Jane and vanilla. Dad stood behind Maya, arms crossed, saying nothing. He'd been saying nothing for 7 years, ever since he married her 6 months after Mama's funeral. My half-brother Craig, Maya's golden child, smirked from the couch, his acceptance letter to Berklee College of Music spread across the coffee table like a trophy. Craig has real talent, Maya continued. You're just adequate. Why waste money on your little hobby when we're investing in someone with actual potential? Hobby. The word tasted like poison. I've been writing songs since I was 8 years old. I've performed at. Those dive bars don't count, Jane. Maya's laugh was cold, surgical. Real musicians don't perform in front of drunk college students for tips. They certainly don't need to beg family for money. I wasn't begging. I was asking my father, my own father, to help me record a demo. Just one professional recording to send to labels. Dad finally spoke. Your stepmother's right. It's time to be realistic. The intervention happened 3 days later. That's what Maya called it. An intervention, like I was an addict destroying my life. She gathered everyone in the dining room. Dad, Craig, my stepsister Shanice, and my cousin Reese, who'd driven 2 hours specifically for this. I remember every detail. The mahogany table reflected the chandelier's light, creating pools of brightness that felt accusatory. Maya had even prepared refreshments, cucumber water and those expensive crackers she only brought out for guests. This was theater to her. We've all agreed, Maya began, distributing printed packets. We've each written down our concerns about Jane's music obsession. Obsession. Not passion. Not dream. Obsession. Craig went first, reading from his notes. Jane's constant practicing disrupts the household. Her music keeps me awake when I need to study. It's selfish. He was 18, already accepted to the school I'd been rejected from twice. He'd started playing piano at 15. I'd been singing before I could properly form sentences. Shanice, 21 and working at Maya's boutique, went next. You're 23, Jazz. Most people your age are building careers, not chasing fantasies. It's embarrassing when my friends ask what my sister does, and I have to say you're waitressing while trying to be a singer. The way she said, singer, dripped with disdain. Reese hurt the most. We'd grown up together, shared secrets, performed at family gatherings. She'd harmonized with me at Mama's funeral, her voice breaking on His Eye is on the Sparrow. Now she couldn't meet my eyes. I love you, Jazz, Reese said softly. But I've watched you struggle for years. Maybe it's time to consider that some dreams aren't meant to happen. Not everyone can be Beyoncé. Dad's contribution was brief. We want what's best for you. This pursuit is preventing you from moving forward. Maya's smile was triumphant. We've decided you need to give up music entirely. Give up music entirely? I repeated, certain I'd misheard. The words felt impossible, like being asked to stop breathing. Maya slid a document across the table. We've drawn up an agreement. You'll stop performing, stop writing songs, and enroll in the community college business program. In exchange, you can continue living here rent-free while you study. I stared at the paper. They'd actually typed up terms and conditions. Bullet points outlining how I'd contribute positively to the household, and pursue realistic career goals. There was even a signature line. You're joking. My voice sounded distant, disconnected from my body. Does this look like a joke? Maya tapped the document with one perfectly manicured nail. Jane, you're draining family resources. The electricity you use for your equipment, the space your instruments take up, the emotional energy we all expend worrying about your future. It's too much. I pay rent, I said. I've been paying $300 a month since I turned 21. That barely covers utilities, Shanice interjected. Do you know how much real rent costs? Mom's giving you charity. My blood boiled. Maya wasn't mom to me. She'd never be mom. This is for your own good, Reese added, and I wanted to scream at her betrayal. I gave up on dance, remember? I'm a dental hygienist now and I'm happy. You can be happy too. Dance was never your passion, I said quietly. Music is my soul, Reese. It's the only thing I have left of my mother. Your mother's dead, Maya said flatly. She's been dead for 7 years. It's time you accept that and stop using her as an excuse to avoid growing up. The room fell silent. Even Craig looked uncomfortable. Dad cleared his throat. Sign the agreement, Jane. Or find somewhere else to live. I looked at my father. This man who'd once recorded my childhood songs on his phone, who'd driven me to my first open mic, who'd promised Mama he'd support my dreams. I'll be out by Sunday, I whispered. I'd forgotten about Terrence. My ex-fiancé sat in the corner, so quiet I hadn't noticed him during the intervention. We'd broken up 4 months earlier, but he and Craig had remained friends. His presence here felt like another ambush. Can I talk to Jane alone? Terrence asked, standing. He'd always been handsome, tall, athletic build, smile that could sell toothpaste. We'd dated for 3 years, engaged for 8 months before I found the text messages. Maya nodded graciously like she was granting a royal favor. Use the patio. Outside, the evening air smelled like honeysuckle and betrayal. Terrence leaned against the railing, studying me with those dark eyes I'd once loved. You're really leaving? He asked. What choice do I have? Anger made my voice shake. They literally gave me an ultimatum. Give up who I am or get out. Maybe they have a point. Terrence's tone was careful, measured. Yes, I loved you. I still care about you. But watching you chase this music thing, watching you struggle and fail repeatedly, it was exhausting. Is that why you cheated? Because my dreams were exhausting. The wound was still fresh. I'd found messages to some woman named Kendra. Explicit messages, promises, plans for a future that didn't include me. He flinched. That's not fair. You were never present, always at some gig or writing session. Our relationship came second to your music. Always. You knew who I was when we met. I was singing at that coffee shop. You said it was what made you fall for me. I fell for you despite the music, not because of it, Terrence said. I thought you'd outgrow it, get a real career, and we'd build something stable. Instead, you're 23, waitressing, living with your parents, and spending every spare moment on a fantasy. His words were Maya's words, just in a deeper voice. They'd rehearsed this. They'd coordinated. Did you ever actually love me? I asked. Terrence was quiet for a long moment. I loved who I thought you could become. I moved into Keisha's apartment that Sunday. Keisha was a waitress at the restaurant where I worked, a single mother with a 6-year-old daughter named Aaliyah. She didn't have space, but she made space, clearing her storage closet and helping me set up an air mattress among boxes of Christmas decorations and old toys. It's temporary, I promised, cramming my keyboard into the corner. I'd sold my amplifier and microphone to afford the first month's contribution to rent. My remaining possessions fit into 4 garbage bags and 2 milk crates. Stay as long as you need, girl, Keisha said, squeezing my shoulder. Family's supposed to lift you up, not tear you down. But the guilt ate at me. Aaliyah gave up her playroom for me. I heard her asking her mother why they couldn't play princess anymore in that room, and Keisha gently explaining that Miss Jane needed help right now. Work became unbearable. Craig had apparently spread the story throughout his social circle, which overlapped with our town's young professional community. People I'd known for years suddenly looked at me with pity or contempt. the delusional girl who couldn't accept reality. One night, a woman I vaguely recognized from high school left me a $1 tip on a $60 bill with a note. Invest in a real career. I cried in the walk-in freezer during my break, mascara freezing on my cheeks. Reese texted sporadically, just checking in. Have you thought about school? Saw a great business program online. Please don't be stubborn about this. Each message felt like a small death. My phone buzzed with an email. Another rejection from a record label, the 17th in 2 years. While we appreciate your submission, your sound doesn't fit our current roster. We wish you the best in your future endeavors. Future endeavors. What future? I was sleeping in a closet, broke, alone, and beginning to wonder if everyone was right. Maybe I was delusional. Maybe talent wasn't enough. Maybe I was just adequate. That night, I almost threw my keyboard away. Almost. 3 weeks into living with Keisha, a woman named Diana McLean walked into the restaurant. She ordered coffee, sat in my section for 4 hours and barely touched her cup. I refilled it 6 times, wondering if she was homeless or hiding from someone. At closing, she finally spoke. You're Jane, right? My name tag confirmed this, but her tone suggested she already knew. Can I help you with something? I'm a talent scout for Meridian Records. She slid a business card across the table. I heard you sing at an open mic 3 months ago. The one at Jackson's bar. My heart stopped. Jackson's was the last place I'd performed before Maya destroyed my guitar. I'd sung Strange Fruit and an original song called Ghosts in My Throat, about losing my mother. The crowd had been small, maybe 15 people, mostly drunk college students who talked through my set. You remember that? I asked incredulously. I remember you. Diana's expression was serious, professional. Your technique needs work. Your stage presence needs development. But your voice, Jane. Your voice has something I haven't heard in 15 years of scouting. Raw, genuine pain that translates into beauty. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to believe her so badly it physically hurt. But I'd been rejected 17 times. I'd been told by my own family that I had no talent. Why didn't you approach me then? Skepticism made my voice hard. I tried. You ran out right after your set. Diana pulled out her phone, showing me emails time-stamped from 3 months ago. Multiple attempts to contact me through the bar, through social media, through mutual acquaintances. All unread, lost in my grief and family drama. I've been looking for you for 12 weeks, she said. I finally asked around, found out where you worked. So here's my offer. Meridian wants to sign you to a development deal. 6 months of vocal coaching, songwriting sessions and studio time. Then we'll record an EP. What's the catch? Nothing good came without strings. Life had taught me that. Diana smiled slightly. The catch is you'll work harder than you've ever worked. You'll be challenged, criticized, and pushed beyond your limits. And you might still fail. For the first time in weeks, something inside me sparked. Not hope exactly. Something fiercer. When do I start? Meridian Records occupied a converted warehouse in the Arts District. The building hummed with creative energy. Drums echoing from one room, guitars from another. Someone singing scales that seemed to vibrate through the walls. Diana led me past studios where actual musicians worked. People I'd only seen on screens and magazine covers. Don't be starstruck, she said, amused. In 6 months you'll be one of them. My vocal coach, Lawrence, was a 60-year-old former opera singer with zero patience for excuses. Our first session lasted 4 hours. He made me hold notes until my vision blurred, corrected my breathing technique and pointed out every flaw in my self-taught style. You sing from your throat, he said. You need to sing from your diaphragm, from your soul, from the place where pain lives. You've got pain, Jane. I can hear it. Now I need you to control it, channel it, weaponize it. I worked double shifts at the restaurant, practiced until 2 in the morning, then woke at 6 for coaching sessions. Keisha found me passed out at the kitchen table more than once, my notebook open to half-finished lyrics. You're going to kill yourself, she warned, covering me with a blanket one night. I'm already dead if I don't do this, I replied. The songwriting sessions were brutal in a different way. Diana paired me with Craig Holloway, a producer known for turning raw emotion into hit records. He listened to my original songs with an unreadable expression, then delivered his verdict. These are good. But good doesn't get you a Grammy. Good gets you local coffee shop gigs. You need to dig deeper. What are you really angry about? Everything. I was angry about everything. My mother's death. Dad's betrayal. Maya's cruelty. Terrence's rejection. Being told my dreams were delusions. Sleeping in a closet at 23. The world's indifference to my existence. Craig handed me a microphone. Then sing about it. Not pretty. Not polished. Sing like you're bleeding out and the music is the only thing keeping you alive. So I did. I screamed into that microphone. I cried. I poured 7 years of grief and rage into 3 minutes of pure, unfiltered agony. When I finished, Craig was recording. That, he said quietly. That's your album. Adequate hit streaming platforms on a Tuesday morning in October. The title was deliberate, reclaiming the word Maya had used to dismiss me. The lyrics pulled no punches. You said I was adequate, not quite enough. A hobby, a fantasy, just kid stuff. But adequate doesn't wake up at 3 a.m. writing symphonies from tears and phlegm. Diana had warned me. This is personal, Jane. You're naming your pain. Your family will hear this. Are you ready? I wasn't ready. But I was done being silent. The song caught fire on social media. First hundreds, then thousands, then millions of streams. People shared their own stories in the comments. Parents who dismissed their dreams, families who couldn't see their worth, partners who demanded they become someone smaller, safer, less. #adequate challenge trended for a week. Artists covered the song. Influencers used it in videos about toxic families. A famous actress posted herself crying while listening, captioning it, "To everyone told they weren't enough, this is your anthem." My phone exploded. Reporters wanted interviews. Radio stations requested appearances. And then the messages from home started. Reese, Jez, I just heard your song. We need to talk. Shanice, are you seriously airing family business like this? Mom is devastated. Craig, you're making us all look bad. This is messed up. Dad, Jane, call me. Please. I didn't call. I wrote another song instead. Then another. The album poured out of me like blood from a wound, 12 tracks of absolute truth. Diana approved everyone. You're not making music for them anymore, she reminded me during a late-night session. You're making music for everyone who's ever been told they're not enough. That's your audience now. But some nights, alone in Keisha's storage closet, I wondered if I'd gone too far. If revenge and vindication were worth the permanent severing of family ties. If my mother would be proud or horrified. Then I'd remember Maya's face as she broke Mama's guitar. Remember Terrence saying he loved who I could become, not who I was. Remember Reese's betrayal, Dad's silence, 17 rejection letters. And I'd write another verse. The nomination announcement came during my set at the Fillmore. 2,000 people sold out, my first major venue. I was mid-song when Diana appeared at the side of the stage, her face luminous with something between tears and triumph. She waited until the song ended, then whispered in my ear. You've been nominated. Album of the Year. Song of the Year. Best New Artist. Jane, you got 4 nominations. I don't remember the rest of the concert. Autopilot took over, my voice performing while my mind spiraled through disbelief. 4 Grammy nominations. Less than a year after sleeping in a closet. Less than a year after being told I was adequate, delusional, a burden. The audience knew before I did. Social media had already exploded. My phone backstage was melting from notifications. And among them more messages from home. Reese, congratulations. I always knew you were talented. So proud of you. The hypocrisy made me nauseous. She'd known. She'd known when she sat in Maya's dining room and told me to give up. Shanice, okay, I admit I was wrong. You actually did it. Family dinner Sunday to celebrate. Craig, Grammy nomination, that's huge. Maybe we can collaborate sometime? Berkeley connections might help your career. My career. The career they'd tried to abort before it began. Terrence sent a paragraph. Jazz, I've been following your success. I was wrong about everything. You were never the problem. I was scared of your greatness, intimidated by your passion. I miss you. Could we meet for coffee? Maya's message was the most Maya thing imaginable. Jane, we should discuss your Grammy speech. As your family, we deserve to be acknowledged for supporting your journey. Let's coordinate so there are no misunderstandings. Supporting my journey. The woman who'd shattered my mother's guitar thought she'd supported my journey. I blocked them all. Every single number. Every social media account. Diana helped me hire a security team and a publicist to filter communications. You owe them nothing, Diana said firmly. Not acknowledgement. Not forgiveness. Not a single moment of your victory. But Dad's final message sent before the block took effect haunted me. I'm sorry, Jane. I'm so sorry. Your mother would be proud. I should have been brave enough to stand up for you. Too little. Too late. 7 years too late. The Grammy Awards felt surreal. I wore a custom gown in my mother's favorite color, deep purple like midnight Jane blooms. The designer had embroidered invisible lyrics into the fabric, lines from songs Mama used to sing to me. I carried her memory on my skin, in my bones, in every breath. The red carpet was chaos. Photographers screamed my name. Reporters thrust microphones toward me, asking about my meteoric rise and overnight success. Overnight. As if the years of struggle, rejection, and pain had never existed. Jane, how does it feel to be nominated for 4 Grammys in your debut year? Like vindication, I answered honestly. Like every person who told me I wasn't good enough can finally hear what I always knew was inside me. Your family must be proud. I smiled, the expression not reaching my eyes. My real family is proud. The people who stood by me when standing by me cost them something. Those are the ones who matter. Inside the venue, my seat was near the front. Established artists I'd idolized nodded respectfully as I passed. My album had started conversations about toxic families, generational trauma, the courage it takes to choose yourself over blood ties. I'd accidentally become a voice for the dismissed and underestimated. Best New Artist was announced first. My category. The presenter opened the envelope and time became viscous, stretching and bending. And the Grammy goes to Jane. The walk to the stage was eternal and instantaneous. My hands shook as I held the golden gramophone, this impossible symbol of worthiness. I'd written a speech, but the words evaporated. Thank you to everyone who believed I'd fail, I began, and the audience rippled with laughter and gasps. You were the fuel. Thank you to Diana McLean who found me when I was invisible. To Keisha and Aaliyah who gave me a home when I had none. To Lawrence and Craig Holloway who helped me find my voice. And to my mother who taught me that dreams aren't delusions, they're directions. This is for everyone who's been called adequate. We're extraordinary. Backstage, my phone buzzed with messages somehow bypassing my blocks. I didn't look. I didn't need to. Their opinions were irrelevant now. They showed up at my hotel 3 days after the ceremony. Hotel security called my room. Amaya, Reese, Craig, Shanice, Terrence, and my father requesting to see me. I could have refused. Should have refused. But something in me needed this confrontation. Needed to look them in the eyes from this side of success and see what they'd say. The hotel conference room felt too large for our small, broken family. They sat on one side of the table, I sat opposite, my Grammy Award between us like a judge's gavel. Maya spoke first. Jane, we've been trying to reach you for weeks. I've been busy winning awards you said I'd never achieve. My voice was steady cold. What do you want? We want to apologize, Dad said. He looked older, grayer, diminished. We were wrong. So wrong. And we want to be part of your life again. Part of my life. I repeated the words slowly. You want to be part of my success, you mean? Where were you when I was sleeping in a closet? When I was surviving on ramen and hope? We were protecting you from disappointment, Maya interjected. The music industry is brutal. We didn't want to see you hurt. So you hurt me first? That was love. Anger cracked through my composure. You destroyed the last thing I had of my mother. You called my dreams a hobby. You made me homeless. You gave me an ultimatum designed to kill who I was. And now you want credit. Reese was crying. Jess, I'm so sorry. I was scared for you. I thought I was helping. You told me to give up. You compared my calling to your hobby. You sat in that dining room and voted to eliminate me. I turned to Terrence. And you cheated because my dreams were exhausting. Because I wouldn't become who you wanted. I made a mistake, Terrence said. I'm different now. Seeing your success made me realize. Realize what? That I was worth loving once I became profitable? Once I was validated by the world you needed to validate me. I stood trembling. My Grammy speech mentioned everyone who believed I'd fail. You're angry I didn't thank you. But I thanked exactly who I meant to thank. You were my motivation. Proof that I'd rather die trying than live as someone else's version of adequate. They left after I spoke. Not immediately. There were more apologies, more justifications, more attempts to rewrite history. But eventually they understood. I wasn't coming back. Not to family dinners, not to reconciliation, not to pretending 7 years of cruelty could be erased by newfound respect. Dad was the last to leave. He paused at the door, his hand on the frame, looking back at me with such profound regret that I almost broke. Your mother would be so proud, he whispered. I should have been. I should have protected you from Maya, from my own cowardice. I chose the wrong woman over my own daughter, and I'll regret that until I die. I don't expect forgiveness. But I need you to know I loved you. I just didn't love you enough to be brave. His honesty was the saddest thing I'd ever heard. Because he was right. He had loved me. Just not enough. After they left, I sat alone in that conference room for 2 hours. My Grammy gleamed on the table, this symbol of vindication that suddenly felt hollow. I'd won. I'd proved them all wrong. I was successful, famous, wealthy, validated by the entire industry. So why did I feel so empty? Keisha found me there. She'd been waiting in my suite with Aaliyah, giving me space for the confrontation. One look at my face told her everything she needed to know. Victory doesn't feel like you thought it would? She asked gently. I shook my head. I thought proving them wrong would heal something inside me. But I'm still that girl whose stepmother broke her guitar. I'm still the daughter whose father chose silence over support. Success didn't fix that. It just gave me better coping mechanisms. Healing isn't about them, Keisha said. It never was. You didn't win because you got a Grammy. You won because you chose yourself when no one else would. That's the victory. The rest is just noise. Aaliyah climbed into my lap, her small arms wrapping around my neck. Miss Jane, can you teach me one of your songs? And there was the real legacy. Not the awards or fame or revenge. But the little girl who looked at me and saw possibility. Who heard my story and learned that dreams weren't delusions. They were directions. Dear Mama, I won a Grammy tonight. 4 of them, actually. Album of the Year was the last one announced, and when they called my name I thought about you. About how you used to record me singing into your phone, telling everyone your baby was going to be a star someday. They didn't believe you. After you died, they spent 7 years trying to kill the dream you planted in me. Maya broke the guitar you gave me for my 16th birthday. Remember? The one with the mother-of-pearl inlay that you saved 6 months to afford. She snapped it like kindling and told me I was adequate. Not talented. Just adequate. I wanted to hate her tonight. I wanted to dedicate my speech to everyone who hurt me, to detail every cruelty, to make them feel as small as they made me feel. But when I stood on that stage holding that golden gramophone, I realized something. Their cruelty taught me that validation can only come from within. Their rejection taught me who I was without external approval. Their absence forced me to find family in unexpected places. In Keisha, who gave me shelter, in Diana, who saw my potential, in every person who heard my pain and said, me too. Mama, I'm not happy. Success didn't erase the trauma. Fame didn't heal the wounds. Every time I perform, I still hear Maya's voice calling my music a hobby. Every interview, I brace for someone to tell me I'm not good enough. The Grammy sits on my mantle, and sometimes I wake up convinced it was all a dream, that I'll open my eyes back in that storage closet, still adequate, still failing. But then I remember what you used to say, baby girl, greatness isn't about being better than others. It's about being braver than your fear. You were brave until the cancer made bravery impossible. You sang until you couldn't breathe. And you told me with your last words to never stop singing. So I won't. Not for Grammy Awards or album sales or revenge against people who never deserved my energy. I'll sing because it's the language my soul speaks. I'll write songs for every person who's been told they're not enough. I'll use my voice to validate those who've been silenced. They're angry about my Grammy speech. They wanted acknowledgement, gratitude, a place in my victory. But you taught me that family isn't blood. It's who shows up when showing up costs them something. And they only showed up once I'd already won. I miss you every day. I miss your laugh, your terrible cooking, the way you'd harmonize while washing dishes. I miss having someone who believed in me unconditionally. But your belief lives in me now. It's the foundation of everything I've become. Tonight I'm successful, vindicated, and utterly alone. The people who hurt me want forgiveness I'm not ready to give. The father who should have protected me wants absolution I can't offer. And I'm left wondering if this is what winning feels like. Standing on a mountain of achievement, looking down at the ruins of relationships that couldn't survive my growth. Maybe someday I'll find peace. Maybe someday the success will feel like enough. Maybe someday I'll heal the parts of me that still ache for a family who chose conditional love. But tonight, Mama, I'm just your daughter. Still singing. Still fighting. Still adequate. And somehow adequate was always enough. I just needed to believe it myself. I love you. I miss you. Thank you for the guitar, the dreams, and the courage to choose myself. Your daughter. Jane never sent the letter. She kept it folded in her mother's old Bible, pressed between pages of psalms and promises. She went on to win 6 more Grammys, mentor countless young artists, and build a scholarship fund for musicians from unsupportive families. She never reconciled with her father, stepfamily, or cousin. Terrence married someone else and occasionally comments on her Instagram posts. She never responds. And late at night, when success feels hollow and lonely, she pulls out that letter and remembers. She didn't win because they were wrong about her. She won because she was right about herself. And in the end, that was the only validation that mattered. If this story resonated with you, please like, subscribe, and share your own stories of choosing yourself in the comments below. Have you ever had to leave toxic family behind to pursue your dreams? Let's support each other. Remember, you're not adequate. You're extraordinary. You just need to believe it first.